Alrighty guys, Xcon here, and welcome. Alrighty guys, the Xcon here, and today is May 4th, which is Star Wars Day, or May the 4th be with you, uh, which I guess is a pun, and because it sounds like May the 4th, May the, May the Force be with you. I just completely fucked that up, but today, I'm going to be ranking all 10 Star Wars movies from worst to best. Obviously, those 10 include the 3 movies from the original trilogy, the 3 movies from the prequel trilogy, the 2 movies from the sequel trilogy, and then Rogue One and the Clone Wars animated movie. So yeah, I'll probably start doing this every May 4th. Just kind of more updated kind of ranking, because it's something what's changes a good bit for me. Um, Usually number one stays the same. Uh, but anyways, from my reviews I did in the past, I'm gonna say they're all relatively the same score. I'm gonna say only 3 of them changed, scoring wise, and it's all 3 of those are only by zero point 0.5 more or zero point 0.5 less. So yeah. Anyways, jumping in at number 10 is Star Wars: The Clone Wars animated movie, which I believe I gave a 5.5 out of 10 in my review. It's not that great of a movie. It has some good moments, but not many. Um, and to be honest, I haven't watched the movie since my review, and I don't know when next time I will watch it. I'll probably watch the show again, which then I guess I'll probably just end up watching the movie. Um, but it's just so funny how such a great show has this movie, what sucks. Um, but yeah, that's my thoughts on the movie are basically the same as the review. Then number 9 is Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, which I believe I gave a 6 out of 10 on my review. Um, no, I didn't rewatch the reviews at all to know what score I gave it. Um, I definitely know 7 through 1 the scores I gave, but yeah. Phantom Menace, it it has cool stuff in it. Um, but the plot, you know, not really the plot. I guess just the dialogue and acting aren't that great, and the biggest problem with me with prequel trilogy with Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones is that it didn't focus in on what the cool things were about the movie as much. But if they did that, then they'd be good movies, other than the bad CG. Um, but yeah, and it had good moments. Phantom Menace, had good moments. The pod race scene's cool. Obviously now it's kind of eh. Um, After not just new movies, but CGI not aging that well. Um, eh, and really, like, the only scene when it's still cool to watch is the, you know, fight between Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and, Darth Maul. So yeah, like I said, rating 6 out of 10 for that one. Pretty much everything I said in the review stays the same. Um, 8, Star Wars Attack of the Clones. I believe I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. I know some people like Phantom Menace more than Attack of the Clones, but some of the colder scenes in this movie I liked a good bit more. Um, like, for instance, I really liked, the Obi-Wan's story in the, going to a Camino and, finding Clone Army and whatnot, and all the stuff he did in the movie, you know, at least before the, um, battle arena fight on Geonosis. So, I liked all that, and then I hated the Anakin Padme stuff. Wasn't very good. Um, but then the, Battle of Geonosis was, you know, I liked all that. Could have been a little bit better, but, you know. And then, coming in at number 7, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, which I believe I gave a 7.5 out of 10, which Revenge of the Sith is not that bad of a movie. It still, it's a decent movie. In fact, to be honest, I think about it now, like, I might actually say it's an 8 out of 10. I, it's obviously the best out of the trilogy. And it really, something what Attack of the Clones and the Phantom Menace didn't do, in my opinion, was, it focused on what was, the good plot line, you know. It didn't focus in on some shitty plot line too much. And, you know, obviously the movie still has bad CGI, and, Hayden Christensen is still not a good actor. But, yeah, it has a lot more good moments. There's plenty of good moments in the movie. But yeah, I do really enjoy the movie. And coming in at number 6 is Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which I believe I gave an 8 out of 10 during the review. And I'd probably say it stays the same. Which the movie, other than it being a, original trilogy time zone film, which has its coolness to it, and the, Vader fight scene, that stuff's great. But other than that, the plot to me it's extremely predictable. Which when I get to it later, The Force Awakens also has a pretty predictable plot. Obviously that movie's not very original in the plot side of things, but yeah. And the characters for Rogue One, the supporting cast, K2SO, Sharut, Baze, the pilot guy are all, you know, they're good characters. I like them, but the two main characters of Jyn Erso and Cassian Andor, I really didn't like them that much. Um, they could have been a little bit better, which, that's what really kind of, like, doesn't make me, like, on repeat viewings of the movie, I just get, kind of, I guess, bored, you could say. Um, Not really caring too much, because I guess it is something just coming off of all the other Star Wars movies where, you have multiple movies with the characters, and, you can get a lot more out of the characters and caring for characters, where in Rogue One, you only got one movie, and, spoiler alert, they all die. Um, so, I guess that's one of the big clues for me with Rogue One. But other than that, it has great action scenes, and it feels like an original trilogy film. Um, but yeah, like I said, and I guess the plot, going into it beforehand, there really wasn't any surprise, like, well, was didn't have that feeling of being surprised, um, which doesn't necessarily mean the movie's plot is bad, but to me, I kind of prefer being surprised, um, and having a plot twist, as long as it makes enough sense. Um, see, I don't want any, like an M. Night Shyamalan a Ding Dong plot twist. Some kind of shitty one. Um, which, yeah, that's basically it for Rogue One. Like I said, 8 out of 10. I'd probably stick with 8 out of 10. Because, there's still stuff I like. I still like the movie. Um, and coming in at number 5 is Star Wars The Force Awakens, which I gave a 9.5 out of 10 during my review, and I would say now it's a 9 out of 10. Which, this and Last Jedi is something I'm gonna back and forth on which one I like more with over the years, and obviously episode 9 will eventually be somewhere there. Um, you know, it could be at the very bottom, or it could be number 1. Never know. Same as Solo and all the other future movies. But yeah, Force Awakens. It, you know, I, I really, enjoy the movie. Um, it is one movie I've enjoyed more after watching it more and more times. Um, so yeah, uh, it you know it does bring did bring Star Wars back in a nice way. Just wish they were more original on the plot side of things, which is what really kind of makes the movie, you know, predictable, I guess, because, uh, obviously, like, seeing it for the first time wasn't predictable, but if you caught on to it during the movie, then, you know, it become predictable. It wasn't something I didn't catch on to, um, right away. I don't know how I didn't, but, you know, it is something I did catch on to later. Um, but yeah, it obviously has some of the original trilogy characters. Obviously, with Han Solo having a big presence in the movie. And if you watch the movie, I guess spoiler alert, he dies during the movie. Um, and obviously that's something I would like to experience in the theater without knowing beforehand going into it. And obviously there's shitheads who like spoiling movies. Um, but before the movie even comes out. Um, but yeah. Um, but I guess another problem I have in the movie is that it's also kind of a problem I have with Last Jedi is the pacing. Just this movie, I felt the pacing was too fast. It never really had a like I just felt the pacing was too fast. The only time it really was slowed down was while they're at Maz's castle before the battle happens. But you know, um, mm, like I said, characters. Obviously, I already like all the original trilogy characters, but the new characters, I do enjoy them a good bit. Um, so yeah, and yeah, um, pretty much everything else from my review is the same. Um, so yeah, and coming at number 4, probably a bit controversial uh, of a pick, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, which the rating I gave during the review was a 9 out of 10, and now it's going to say the same. It is a 9 out of 10 for me. Um, see if you don't go on the internet and look at opinions of people, then obviously you wouldn't know. But wasn't the most universally loved movie. Um, which obviously people who dislike it, they can dislike it. It's not a movie I dislike. It's not the best Star Wars movie. I do feel like it's uh better than any prequel film or any film of the Disney era. Um, I do feel like it's better than all of those. Still doesn't beat the original trilogy for me. But you know, eh, eh, like really the only thing I majorly dislike from the movie is the one scene where Leia's out in space, and if you watch the movie, you know what scene I'm talking about, and does the floaty shit. That was the only that was the only scene I really did not like. And another thing is the pacing is a bit, you know, slow. Um, doesn't have that great of a pace to it. Which, like I said, The Force Awakens I found was too fast of a pace, and whatnot. But overall, I liked where they took all the characters. See, one big thing people don't like is how they treated Luke in the film, where to me, from where Force Awakens kind of left off, it's the thing that makes the most sense to me because if he was still the kind of character he was in the original trilogy, then he wouldn't have gone missing. You know, he he wouldn't have stayed on that island even after Han Solo dies or all the other shit what happens. He he would have came back in the Force Awakens, um, and not at the end where someone else finds him, uh, that being Rey. Um, and also I guess Snoke's death. Uh, to me, I you know I like that he died. Because it is a surprise. Uh, Obviously, you're expecting more, which it's like I said earlier with the Force Awakens. It was the thing I dislike about the Force Awakens is you know the rehashing of plot points from A New Hope, which if they you know did that a lot more with Last Jedi, then I'd probably dislike the movie more. Um, but the only thing that was really rehashed was the throne room scene, which obviously if you've watched Return of the Jedi and The Last Jedi, you'll know what I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, whereas Snoke don't get the answers you're thinking you will get. Obviously with Rey's parents, being nobodies, isn't an answer you'd think you would get. Um, which I feel like obviously Rey's parents, being nobodies is something I really like. It and just really shows the difference between a character like Rey and Kylo Ren. Um, Obviously Rey being from a bunch of nobodies, where Kylo Ren is you know part of the Skywalker family, and it really does show a difference, you know, in that and how much the legacy to Kylo Ren's the legacy of his family, you know, really kind of how he's just trying to live up to that legacy, um, where you know Rey's trying to wishing you know she had that legacy, even though in the end it doesn't really matter. Um, and I guess also another reason, for Rey's parents, obviously being left a mystery with the Force Awakens. Um, it obviously builds up speculation in theories, which I'm gonna be real honest with theories. I really do hate theories. Fan theories. For movies and whatnot, because usually it's a bit can really get dumb, and some people really expect those things to happen, even though they're dumb. Uh, and obviously there are fan theories which sound dumb but end up becoming true, and in the movie they're perfectly fine, and works in the movie. Um, but to the you Rey's parents and Snoke fan theories were just those were ones I really hated the most, because think of any stupid thing and just kind of going with it. But yeah. And then see, there's the Canto Bite stuff, which I'll say I really didn't like that stuff too much. It's more of it's like when they're there, it's like okay, just get back to the Resistance and you know Rey stuff, because you know, is a lot more interesting. Um, you know, rather than, you know, Finn and Rose being on the casino planet. Um, but yeah, um, guess I don't want to go too much longer on The Last Jedi. Guess I am talking about more because it is the latest release, but pretty much everything else from the review is the same. Um, so yeah. Uh, but yeah. Anyways, moving on to number 3, which is Star Wars: Return of the Jedi, which I believe I gave a 9 in my review. I'd say it's a 9.5 out of 10. It's, you know, it is obviously the weakest of the original trilogy. But it does have one of my favorite uh scenes from Star Wars, which is, you know, the throne room scene, um, which is something I just really like. Um, and yeah, obviously there's Ewoks, which to me I like the Ewoks. See, people don't like Ewoks for whatever reason. Um, but yeah, and you know, it 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 does have a few little problems. Um, but you know, overall it is, you know, a good film. Um, so yeah. Anyways, moving on to number 2, which is Star Wars: A New Hope, which I believe in the review I gave that a 9.5. And to me, I'd say it's definitely a 10. I don't know why I gave it a 9.5. You know, it's a great movie. Um, if you haven't seen it, then go watch it. In fact, I don't know why you're watching this video if you haven't seen it. Um, but yeah, you know, it's obviously the movie that started Star Wars, um, which is now, you know, the pop culture phenomenon. Uh, and it's just very good. Um, so yeah, and yeah, obviously it's, you know, it does have a bit, you know, some things that are much better in future Star Wars movies. Um, like lightsaber battles. This one, you know, the fight between Obi-Wan and Vader is easily the worst lightsaber battle in a, you know, as in the action point, you know, drama and whatnot does make it a good lightsaber fight, but in an action point of view, it is easily the worst. Um, but yeah, you know, pretty much everything from the review does stay the same. And number 1, Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, which 10 out of 10, just like the review. It's my favorite movie of all time. Um, So, I really enjoy it. Uh, I enjoy it a lot. Um, so yeah, it's just the perfect movie. You know, it does a lot of things right. Uh, Obviously, one thing is a bit slower paced than you know, A New Hope and Return of the Jedi, but that doesn't mean it's terrible. Um, Obviously, it introduces my two favorite Star Wars characters, which are Yoda and Boba Fett. Um, and the Battle of Hoth, is obviously probably the most shown battle from Star Wars in a can't speak. Uh, in all of Star Wars media, books, games, and whatnot. Um, I was about to say TV shows, but it is not in a TV show. Uh, books, games, comics. It is probably the most shown battle. Um, in that it's, I'd be surprised if it isn't, because it's like in so many fucking games. Basically, any Star Wars game that takes place during the original trilogy has the Battle of Hoth. Um, so that's a good bit of Star Wars games, and yeah. Um, and then obviously the biggest thing, one of the biggest plot twists in all movies, um, which I'm gonna say spoilers real quick for a almost 40-year-old movie. Um, that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father. Which, wow. Sorry if I spoiled that for you. I know the movie hasn't been out that long. You know, I'm sorry I let that slip. But yeah. Um. So yeah. Obviously that's it for the list. Um. The next list will be next year's May 4th, which will feature Solo. My placement of the hat. Um. Also, I should say real quick, if I were to place the Clone Wars TV series and Rebels, it'd probably be in between Rogue One and The Force Awakens. Um, Both of them. Uh, so if I were to rank them, that's where they would be. Honestly, maybe next year I could, if I'm fully caught up on all the canon material, I'll just do a full canon rating list. It'll be like 3 hours long. Um, so yeah, obviously I'm not gonna do that unless I do. We'll find out. But yeah, today I might have the Star Wars Rebels Season 2 review. I'm not sure because I haven't read it out yet. So, and I am recording this on May 4th. Um, so obviously you'll know uh, if it happened or not. But yeah, anyways, I've been Xcon, and I will see you guys in the next one.